Hi, this is Group 2, and this is our presentation for the impressive company of Nestle. My name is Janina Lanis, and together with my partners Ola Allende, Jessica Lagro, Marco Moncada, and Steven Solis have put together a business plan worth Nestle's consideration. If you visit the company's website, it'll tell you the story of how Nestle began its career in Switzerland. Nestle started small like most other businesses. In fact, it started off as two separate businesses competing in the same market but with differing products. The Page brothers had their well-known and highly purchased canned milk products with their Anglo-Swiss company, while Henry Nestle was in the infant food market to help with infant deaths caused by lack of nutrition. When one of the companies began to sell the same product is when they became rivals. The Page brothers began to manufacture and sell baby food. Being that they were a more established company, they had already tried to move overseas to the US when one of the brothers passed. In 1905, the two businesses combined and prospered in the US. They continued to grow with the acquisition and mergers of businesses that stay in line with their mission of giving people healthier options. With their mission of good food, good life, Nestle wants to provide consumers with the best tasting, most nutritious choices in a wide range of food and beverage categories and eating occasions from morning to night. Nestle's vision statement is to be a leading, competitive nutrition, health, and wellness company delivering improved shareholder value by being a preferred corporate citizen, a preferred employer, preferred supplier selling preferred products. Preferred, preferred, preferred. This is what Nestle is trying to build by being a product that you have grown up with. They want your preference. They want to be in your minds as well as help with your body's nutrition by being the preferred choice.
Hi everyone! As Janine mentioned, my name is Jessica and I'm going to be talking to you about the current brands that fall underneath the Nestle umbrella. Household names such as Gerber, Nesquik, Pure Life, even Purina, plus many more all have a spot within Nestle. Here is a list of the current brand categories which Nestle entails. This leads us into our SWOT analysis, where some strengths that Nestle have are how diverse they are with their branding and their products, the quality of their goods, and how generational they are, meaning when new consumers enter the market, they are more likely to pick up a Nestle brand because they are used to seeing it within their home. Some weaknesses that Nestle have are that their goods are common and that their prices are very low end to middle of the road. But this also opens them up to opportunities such as expansion and looking into creating a luxury brand. Some threats that face Nestle are that they are easy to imitate, the political risk when they go into areas of expansion, and disease such as we're seeing with the COVID-19 pandemic. Now for an internal analysis on Nestle using the VRIN model. For value, yes, being affordable with trusted quality and extremely diverse products. For rarity, the company as a whole, yes, because they work in multiple markets. But for products, no, because they supply common goods with no real specialty item. Are they easily imitated? Yes. Many companies have common areas of interest as the products that Nestle puts out. As for non-substitutional, no, because there are more luxurious brands out there and there are more inexpensive brands out there. Here we have the Porter's 5 forces. So for potential entrants, the threat is high because Nestle deals with a lot of common goods. The power of this supplier is low because there are such diverse products and common resources that Nestle can go wherever they need to for suppliers. For the power of the buyer, it's high because we are dealing with such common goods that there are no real luxury items. For the threat of substitution, it is also high for this reason. There are no specializations. And for industry rivals, the threat is high because the goods that Nestle produces are readily available and there's always room in the market to grow. Continuing on with our external analysis, I just wanted to draw your attention to a few points of our market segment. For demographic, the brands and products of Nestle are for all age ranges, from infant to geriatric. For economic, according to Nestle's website, they have a presence in many countries throughout the world, from emerging markets to established. And then for social cultural, the world of food and beverage is changing. More people are looking for a healthier option versus the sugary overloaded options of the past.
Hello, my name is Marco Moncada, and we are going to go over the financial analysis of Nestle. We are going to start with the profit ratios. First, the net profit margin. That 14% means that 14 cents out of each dollar of revenue goes straight to the pocket of Nestle after all expenses are paid. That means that it's making a profit. It's making 4% more profit than the industry. The total assets turnover and the return on assets, that is how well Nestle used their assets to make a profit. By assets, we mean like land, cash, equipment, investments, buildings, all that kind of stuff. These ratios indicate that 9.5% of the income of Nestle is receiving are made by the use of these assets. The return on investments is used to evaluate enterprise performance. It is a ratio that measures the ability of the firm to reward those who provide long-term funds and to attract providers of future funds. Nestle is a company where the return is almost 4% more than the industry. In other words, Nestle is a pretty good option for investors to put their money on it. Now we're going to go over the long-term debt paying liabilities. These ratios are used by companies to understand their position to meet its long-term obligations. By long-term, we mean accounts that are due in more than 1 year. The time interest earned ratio indicates a firm's long-term debt payability ability from the income statement view. In this case, the higher the number, the better for the company. And for Nestle, a ratio of 8.19 is pretty good. That means that financially it's really steady, and we can see this with the debt ratio and the debt equity ratio. They are from 1 year to another didn't change that many. That means that Nestle didn't receive any more money from investors or from banks or creditors. So this is good for Nestle. Now it has a big space if they want in the next year to get a little bit more money from outside resources. On the other hand, the liquidity ratios are used to explain the ability that a firm has to meet their short-term debts. By short-term, we mean accounts that are doing less than 1 year. And we're going to start with the day sales and receivables. This indicates the number of days that it takes for Nestle to collect money from their customers. And we can see that from 2018 to 2019, they went up 1 day. They're taking longer to collect the money. This is bad for Nestle. But if we compare that to the industry, they're collecting the money faster with a ratio of 8.07 compared to the 11.33 that the industry has. The day sales in inventory, that is the number of days that it takes for Nestle to sell their goods since the day they become inventory. But if we add inventory turnover in days, 72 days plus account receivable turnover in days 45, that gives us 117 days. That's the operating cycle. And the operating cycle represents a period that lasts between the acquisition of goods and the final cash realization resulting from the sales and subsequent collections. And 117 days is the average for every industry. So Nestle is in a good position in that. And the asset to ratio and the CAR ratio, that means how fast Nestle can turn their assets to money to meet their short-term debts. For example, land, cash, investments, buildings, equipment, how fast they can become that cash to pay their debt if something goes wrong. And for most of the industries, under one, keeping a ratio under one is pretty good. And Nestle have it has a 0.53 and 0.25 for each ratio, so that's good. And they're like keeping it steady between 1 year to another. So this is good for Nestle. In conclusion, Nestle is making with a have profit ratios above the average industry. This is good. I mean that they're making more money than the rest of the competition. Also, with they are in good position with their long-term debts and their short-term debts. They're able to meet the maturity days and able to pay those debts. So in conclusion, Nestle is in good financial position.
Hello everyone, my name is Steven Solis and I'll be discussing my team's recommendation. For many large companies, the acquisition of a smaller organization can be used to gain an advantage over their competitors. In the case of Nestle, the acquisition of Bang Energy Drink is one that comes with both strategical and financial gain. Nestle is a very well-known company with a large selection of products and a global reach. As a team, we have looked into Nestle's product line and have noticed they have not launched into the realm of energy drinks. In the next slide, I will be discussing a few reasons why Nestle should acquire Bang. So a little background on Bang. Jack Owak is the founder of Vital Pharmaceuticals, which is a parent company of Bang and was established in 1993. The company manufactures and distributes fitness supplements and performance drinks under the brand name VPX. This organization has many patents and trademarks, which apart from Bang include Redline Energy Drink and Power Rush. Their target market includes fitness enthusiasts and college students. In 2012, the company introduced Bang, marketed as a low sugar carbonated energy drink that can be used as a healthier alternative to other similar products on the market, such as Red Bull and Monster. Bang's mission statement is to make high quality nutritional supplements backed by scientific research. In 2017, Bang announced a caffeine-free variant of beverages, and the next year they opened a $52 million manufacturing and distribution facility in Phoenix, Arizona, which will operate alongside their 800,000 square foot manufacturing and distribution facility and world headquarters in Pembroke Pines, Florida.
My name is Olaitan Ainde, as earlier said by Jenny. So, based on our recommendation that Nestle should acquire any any company that we said, okay, we decided that Bank So we are going to look into some factors that we need to consider before we make the move. So some of the factors are the political and economic risk in China, the mode of entry to China. Are we going to use greenfield, or are we using exporting, or are we using franchising? Then we'll look at the current market in China. What is the share? Or who is the leading company there? Then the effect of China entry on Asian market. We should remember what we wanted to do is we wanted to cover the whole Asia, but China is just the entry point. So that's our goal. Then after that, after entering the China market, what is the business level strategy we're going to use? How are we going to use differentiation? How are we going to use cost leadership? So those are the things that we're trying to look into before we make our move and take advantage of it to get our competitive advantage. Next slide. Political risk and economic risk. Yeah, political risk and economic risk, those involves uh, the issue of the economic stability of the country, the value of their currency against the dollar, the country's GDP, the political issues within the country itself, within China itself. We know they practice communism. So how do they handle their people? All those things are what we're going to look into so that we'll be able to know how to cope and how we take care of our employees, how we'll be able to compete with other companies when we get to China. Then the mode of entry. After critical look about on the mode that we're going to use, we discovered we have two options. The options are exporting and greenfield. The reason we have greenfield is because this is manufacturing. So we can be exporting every time because of we have to consider the distance and we have to consider the time it will take for us to get to China to deliver the products. And the hotmost of it all is the tariffs. So that one will be adding up to our cost of production. So we may not be able to compete the way we wanted. So, but at first, Nestle have a facility in China. Yes, they have a facility in China. So, but we still need to put things in place so that we can be producing there. So the options we have now is produce here in the United States and export to China. So, and within a period of time, a time frame, we make sure we have the facility in China equipped and go ahead and start production. So what you're seeing here is the market share of of our competitors in China. So all this is just like this is a statistics from 2016. But what this will do for us is it's just going to give us a clue on how to know how aggressive we're going to go into the market and the business strategy we're going to adopt. And then effect of China entry, I mean effect of we going to China on Asian market. Presently, the China market from now 2020 to 2025, the projected compounded annual growth rate for energy drink is 5.2%. For Asia, it is 4.5%, which means only in China, if you can go to China and get a share out of this, it will be a good business, and which will affect our contribution to the Asian market too. So all we just need to do is enter China, get the significant part of the market, if not all, but we can, get part of the share. So from there we go into other Asian countries. Yes, the business level strategy. At this point, going to China, we have known who are those customers who will be served. What are their needs and how those needs will be satisfied. So which means we're going into China. We know we have a drink that I want to sell in China. What are the things that other companies are not have not been doing that we can do to gain those customers? What are their complaints about other products that we can take advantage of? So those are the things we're looking into now. So and our business model on the customer part, Nestle is using differentiation. But at this point, we recommend cost leadership will be the best to enter the market so that we can gain a significant share of the market. Because if you have a low cost, a low price, customers will be willing to buy, and from there we can, in the long run, we can change differentiation, which in order to align with our own business model. Yeah, the 3-year plan, which is this the pro forma, the plan, execution, how we're gonna, all the recommendations and how what we said from the beginning, this covers how we plan to implement it. The first year, we are going to export to China facility so that we can make the drink to be available in the market. At this same first year, plans will be going on how production will start in China, how we're going to procure the machineries, supplying the packaging materials, and how to employ more workers on this same first year. So, but the one thing we're going to take note of is that we this project will be handled as this is a project, but we handle it as a program. I don't want to confuse us this project management. If we handle it as a program, it will create it won't block it will create more opportunities for us to continue more projects without disrupting the one we have on ground. So if we make it a program, so the second year we increase market dominance through promotions and branding. So we employ the reach, richness, and affiliation dimension of firm's relationship with customers so that we can gain the competitive advantage. In our third year, we'll be targeting to start production in China. So by the middle of the year, we may stop production in the United States. It's left to the decision of the management. Do we want to continue production in the United States, or we want to stop production? So if we want to stop, we stop production in the United States. If you still want to be competing in the United States market, we will continue production. So then from at that point in the third year, we stop the exports to China so that we can save the money from the tariffs. So in our conclusion, having gone through the SWOT analysis, the strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats, then using the Potter's 5 forces to know the after using the Potter's 5 forces to know which kind of business we can go into, and after doing the value chain analysis of Nestle, we will look at the financial status of Nestle, and we decided that okay, the next thing to do is to acquire bank. So, and we decided on we recommended we didn't decide, we recommended on using cost leadership strategy so that uh, we'll be able to get that competitive advantage and take a significant part of the market share. These are our references. I think that's all we have. Thank you.